Now, usually I know Bleek does all the intros, but since he has the king of all intros in the building, we are going to start this off right. Somebody's pulling me close to the ground. I ain't panicked. I've been in before. I've been rock solid for 30 years now, rocking with Bleek. Bleek's an entertainer, a rapper, and now he's doing his podcast thing. So open up your fucking ears, motherfucker, because here come the pain. Okay, I'm reloaded.
It's ROC Solid. You already know. We back at it with my guy, Pain in the motherfucking ass, man. What's up,
Good
my brother?
Good to see you again, Bleek.
Good to see you, man. How you been, my G?
Good. Look like I like sitting at this table here. Look like we're doing the weekly, nightly news or something, right?
Yeah,
like,
man,
right? Like some ghetto news and shit.
We set up. We
tonight.
Good. That's what we go
to. Marcy Projects, right? That's what I'm saying. The way they start off like that.
Yo, chill.
I'm sorry.
Oh Lord, not so fast.
Not so fast.
Yo,
that's what.
Just for those who don't know, Pain in the Ass, legendary voiceover, intro, extravagant, funniest man I know, comedian, should be next to Kevin Hart in every movie.
Okay, wait a minute.
He might be funny.
Wait a minute,
like
time out. Are we going to start off right off the bat like that?
Yeah,
I was going to be in a movie with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, we're going to start off just like that, but we're not going to ask that question till later. Hold on. But I'm just letting people know how funny my guy is, the love I got for Pain. Every time I called this guy, he always there, always been a genuine guy. Like I said, this is ROC Solid. And if you on this platform, it means one thing. You solid, my G.
I love you,
know what I mean?
I love you,
so
my
much,
guy.
Man. So, yo, just for those who don't know, Pain, what made you fall in love with acting, doing the voiceovers and everything like that?
Well, it's funny how God works. You know, God always has a plan for us.
Of course.
And we don't realize it while it's hatching itself, if you will. You know what I mean? So my mother died when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom passed very, very young. She came here from Colombia, South America, met my dad, an American man. And unfortunately, she died when I was 12. And he already remarried when I was like 2, because they divorced. So there was nobody in the home, you know? So thank God my sister raised me.
Okay, shout out Big Sis. You know what I mean?
My sister's like my mother, basically. And
that's what's up.
One day when I see my mother again one day in the promised land, I will grab my sister's hand and I will come up to my mother and point to my sister and say, "This is my mother."
How you know your sister gonna be up there too? She might still be here with me.
Well, I mean, when we're all together, in those years it's different. One day is like 1,000 to up there, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, her raising you was very noble, and I appreciate that. But the only problem with that is that she has to work, you know, to provide. So there's nobody in the house.
Yes.
So you know what you do. You start dwelling outside, and the people outside become your surrogates. They become your adopted family.
That's right. You know that. The streets.
And sometimes, unfortunately, they're up to some things that are not that great, but they're letting you roll. They're letting you, be part of that. Not directly part of that, but they're letting you just chill on the block with them, like how you chill on the block. So everybody had like a job to do, if you will. So my job would be to just like crack jokes all day. And at the same time, I was watching these movies, and these movies were raising me basically because there's nobody in the house.
That's right.
You know, all these movies are very important to me. So I would go back on the block and I would, say, I saw this movie last night, Rocky, and it was so dope when the trainer's talking to me, "Get up, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves you." And, we'd just be up there doing Mickey all night. You know what I mean? Like, and they would love it.
And those movies was impactful.
Those movies were important.
Shaped some of our lives, man.
Absolutely.
I wish these kids could relive some of the 80s.
They could. Go to fucking Netflix, man. Go see fucking Rocky. That changed my life.
Word
But, being out there on the block all night, it would be like, yo, do Rocky, do Mickey, and I would do it all night. And little did I know that was kind of like a preparation for what would come later on. And that's, like I said, that's how God works.
Exactly,
God works
man.
in that manner.
Like, how did you end up with, because I met you through, of course, Jay, Dame, Biggs. How did that relationship brew? Like, how do you even end up meeting them? Because them niggas crack more jokes than... And back then, y'all niggas used to go to war. But before that, hold on.
Jesus,
how did y'all meet, though?
Like, it's funny, again, how life works is things are always subconsciously around. You know what I mean? I was a big hip-hop fan. I always loved hip-hop. And that was one of the things accompanied with movies that were very important to me.
Yeah.
So I remember listening to, like, can I get open? Like, you know, back in the day, Rap City would play videos, and I would tape them, and I would come home and watch them over and over again. But I thought he was so nice. I was like, yo, who is this guy? Carl Ken. I was like, damn, the way he's rapping and everything. Go get your gun. I'll go all out with a can. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? What's he talking about? But I was like, yo, he's nice. And I remember it said the name on the TV show. It was a Jay-Z. I was like, all right, cool. You know, keeping in mind. And then he came out in my lifetime, and then I got into the music business. I was working for Around the Globe, which is like a promotion company that eventually turned to Penalty. And eventually signed Noriega and Capone. And I was handing out stickers and flyers, and we were working with this guy named Ray Ray.
Yeah, Ray Ray. Shout out Ray Ray. Ray Ray living the O with me, man.
Yeah. He lives out there. He lives out there. So Ray Ray, you know, was the main promotion person at the company there, and they would do promo stuff for every label. And they were doing stuff with Payday. So Dame would come.
Payday Records.
Big shout out to Mr. Wall and everybody over there. So they would come to Around the Globe to try to get them to promote whatever was on it. Group Home was on there. Let's see who the other act was on there.
Shout out Group Home.
Group Home was
Group
dope.
Home, I ain't gonna lie, they might be one of the groups that had the best beats ever.
Oh, that's Premier. That's
of course.
Premier's project. That's Premier's baby.
I know.
Malachi the Nutcracker and they were so dope, man.
You bringing me back in the days. Payday. I remember the stickers from in my lifetime.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Stickers were real important back then. Stickers were everything.
Everything, bro.
And that's one of the things that, you know, was important at the very early, you know, baby infant stages of Rockefeller. Like, we had to have a dope sticker. Because we wanted to flood the city and let people know that, you know, Jay-Z's that dude.
That's right. A lot of people don't probably know that. Jay and them was a little mad at the In My Lifetime stickers.
Are you serious?
Because remember, they popped Cristal. They put the Moet bottles on them.
Oh, so
they felt it kind of offensive. It was like,
they gave him the 4.0 sticker.
Yeah, they don't do that, but I guess, you know, they just roll with it.
4.6 sticker. See that?
Word, it's crazy, man.
But Ray was on there at Around the Globe, and Dame would come and they would like utilize them for whatever they needed. Now, Ray had a roommate that worked at Payday named Garvin.
I remember Garvin.
I'm sorry, Garnett. I'm sorry, I apologize. Garvin worked at Rockefeller. Garnett. So Garnett, when they decided to open up their own label, was asked to come work at Rockefeller. But he was at Payday. And that was like, you know, it was solidified. He couldn't take a chance going to like a record company. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Rockefeller at the time.
It was a dream, bro, back then.
Exactly.
If you got a solidified check, you're going to stick with the short shot.
In the music business, you definitely stay with that.
Yes, but he fucked up, though.
He did, but what he did what was smart was he's like, I can't work for you, but I'll help you. Why don't you let my roommate, Ray work with you?
Yeah.
So Ray decided to come over to Rockefeller.
Yep, he ran the street team with the illest truck.
So he left Around the Globe. So we were still there, me and Tenza, my boy. You know, he's the one that introduced me to the game and everything. So I remember he was telling me, Tenza's like, yo, call Ray, you know, he's at Rockefeller. And Rockefeller had such a huge buzz at that point. They had a record company, and the label was in Wall Street, and, you know, they were like different. They were doing things like unorthodox. Oh my God, that
office was bad though. It sounded fly, but it was bad.
It was.
Shout out Chaka,
it was okay for what it was.
Dara, Omi, Carlene, all of them, man. They held it down,
Adrian,
man.
Rest in peace, Adrian.
Word, man. Rest in peace. You got to think about Al Branch.
Well, not at that point. Al Branch wasn't at the very beginning.
No,
it was
not
Chrissy Clifford.
Chrissy,
was there.
Shout out Chrissy, still there. Chrissy at Rock Nation.
Okay, good.
Chrissy was the promoter back then. She booked the show.
She used to manage, or she probably still does, Kid Capri and Camp Low. Low. And eventually started managing the Locks.
Yep, she still got her manager hat on. Yeah, she shout out Chrissy, man.
So
First promoter I ever met.
Tenza goes, yo, call Ray and ask if we could go up there and do the street team thing for you know, Rockefeller, so we could get the fuck out of here. Because, you know, that's like, you know, it's a regular label. It was corny. So we call up. I call up. He makes me do it. You know, of course, you know, he puts it, call him. I was like, yo, you know him too.
Yeah,
call him.
why would you call?
He likes you better. Like, all right, cool. So I call him, yo, Ray, man, what's going on, man? I heard you over at Rockefeller. Now, can we come over and do the street team? He's like, nah, dogs, we got professionals for that. I was like, oh,
you lied.
Yeah.
He closed the door?
Yeah, he closed the door on me.
Nah, Ray.
Fred Flintstone style. Like, you know, at the end of the Flintstones, Wilma, like he's trying to get in. So I was like, yo, fuck it then. You know what? Can we intern there then? He goes, yo, hold on. So he puts me on hold, but this is a long, extended hold, and this is a hold without no music.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not even talking about.
Afford the music.
You could have at least played In My Lifetime or some shit. You could have played Carl Kellogg. At least let me hear, can I get open for a minute? Right?
Just silence.
We're talking about locker room, just dead silence. So I'm like, fuck, he's never coming back on the phone. I'm about to hang up. I'm giving him the grace period 5 minutes, but I'm like, all right, cool. He gets back on the phone, thank God. He goes, all right, dogs, you could come. I go, when? He goes, right now. He goes, Jay wants to meet you right now. I was like, word? I was like, yo, I'm in Queens. I'm living in Flush in Queens. I still do. But I had to jump on the train, go all the way downtown for them to meet us so we can, I guess, become the interns there. So I don't know why you would want to see somebody become an intern. What we're going to do is get coffee and shit like that. But luckily, we saw Jay, we saw everybody. And first thing I did when I introduced myself to him was, what's up, pain in the ass? And he did like a... Yeah, because you know how Jay is.
Of course, same thing I did. I remember when they introduced you to me. Yo, this pain in the ass.
Like, what? Like, what the fuck are y'all niggas on? You know, what the fuck are you talking about? But he was cool with it. And eventually, you know, we started going up there every day. After school, it was like the normal thing, you know. Yeah, we jump on the train, office, be at the office
on Friday, we used to have the drinks, the Cristal flowing, man. Absolutely. You kidding me? We used to be litty.
And then the very first time that I recognized that I was part of something that was, you know, bigger than I thought it was when the jackets came.
Oh.
When the jackets showed up.
I didn't get a jacket.
I know. I remember we had that conversation too. You were pissed. And you were pissed. Which is funny because on backstage, you end up having that whole thing with Dave.
I got a Def Jam jacket. Right. They don't understand.
Right.
That's why I expressed that feeling for that jacket.
That was like out of anger.
No, it was just like somebody gave me a jacket. Remember, I'm from the hood. We couldn't afford a leather.
I know.
Delancey Street, you had to steal one of those from somebody. You couldn't just go down there. You had to be big time drug dealer. I wasn't. I was a little homie getting little money.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Look at that. Imagine that to the point where you are like from the neighborhood, you like that next artist in that camp.
Yeah,
and you didn't get a jacket.
Yeah, because I wasn't the next artist as of yet. Remember, Jay was still trying to get on at that time. Rockefeller was just brewing.
But it was Roughness was there too.
Yeah,
Roughness was there too. So I guess she was like the new.
Yo, you know I never met Roughness.
Are you serious?
I swear to you, I only heard her name. Right. I heard about her that she was the artist that the first Rockefeller artist signed, and I never met her.
Then they had
Diamonds in the Rough.
Diamonds in the Rough from Uptown.
Yes.
Yeah. Chink and
Rebel.
Reb. Yes.
I met them. They're my guys. They're my guys, man. Like we had a crazy relationship. You bringing up memories. People gonna want to know.
Well, that's the beginning. That was who's Roughness, right?
Yo, straight up.
But that was like an honor to me that they would even give me a jacket when. Look at that! You didn't get a jacket. Like, you know what I mean? It meant a lot to me.
I was still trying to get in the team. I was still
my name on it.
Yeah, painting out. I remember talking to you about the jacket. Yeah. You showed me the jacket, had the Rockefeller Records logo on the back and everything. Said pain and ass, and I'm like, you got a jacket?
Nah, I still have that.
They ain't give me a jacket?
I still have that jacket.
As you should, man.
A couple of years ago, when they had the museum, the exhibit for Jay-Z. Somebody contacted me from Rock Nation.
Yeah.
My man Just C.
Okay.
He was like, yo, you still got the jacket? I was like, yeah. He goes, can you do us a favor? Can you bring it up?
Oh, yeah.
So I brought them the jacket to Rock Nation, and they duplicated it.
And put it in
And that's the one they put in the
That's
museum.
crazy, man.
So as a thank you for doing that, they made me a new one.
No way.
Yeah, so I got both. I got both now. I got the two Rockefeller, the old one and the new one that says the pain ass on it.
And if I believe so, was that the old logo of the Rockefeller?
Yes, the one with the bottle, which should have been, like you said, Ace of Spades. But I think back then it was Moet.
Yes.
You know what's weird? It's weird drinking champagne in the club because now you got the Douce thing, and I'm so proud of you doing this.
Big up Douce, Douce Mafia, baby.
That's right, we do what we say. But it was so weird back in the days we used to drink champagne in clubs. Like nobody drinks champagne in clubs.
No, they do. They do.
I don't see nobody popping champagne anymore like that.
The New York vibe in the clubs is like, man, I'm trying to restore the feeling in New York with that. But you go to Vegas, go to Miami, let them soccer players pull up in the club. You'll see so many bottles of champagne, you'll think they bought it in themselves.
That's crazy.
Like, it's insane, my G.
You know what I always wanted to do, like when someone popped the bottles, you know how Alpo used to like smash the cake in people's face? Why don't people take like the Gatorade bucket and like dump it on someone like it's their birthday? You know what I mean? Like you know how you win a championship? You know when they win a championship, they just dump the bucket on the dude like that? Like at the end, it was like, oh, and he's cool with it too. Like he acts like he's cool with it, but like deep down inside, he's like, motherfuckers, man. I hate you. Yeah, it's like it reminds me of the dudes like back in the days they used to have to jump you into a crew.
Yo, remember that day? Yeah, that was the real.
You know what's weird about getting jumped into a crew? It's like, don't lie. You know, deep down inside, you still feel animosity for those motherfuckers.
That's
like,
right.
You fucking jump me to get
in
it.
the face.
Yeah, like that one kick. Like you saw that one kick coming at you,
like,
and you was like, focus on you, motherfucker. Like, I get really down
back
with
in the day, that's how you got down with the crew. You had to fight everybody.
You're gonna be the first one to get flipped on. I'm gonna set you the fuck up. Which is weird because jumping someone to get into something is crazy. Like, how do you prove your loyalty to that?
And then you know what's crazy? They jump you to get in, and then y'all have a fight, and they run on you.
It's crazy.
How about that?
You know, I got jumped in to be an intern at Rockefeller, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Damien jumped me.
Yeah,
man.
right.
You fucking jumped me, man. I seen the kick. Man. I seen that. Now, imagine that.
Yo, but
that would be crazy, though, to be like
jumped in the Rockefeller.
Inaugurated into a camp, like a rap camp or something like that. But you gotta get to beat the shit out of him to get in there.
Yo,
you know what I mean? Because then what your rhymes are gonna be different back then.
It wasn't that serious, but I always wanted to know one question.
Yeah.
How did you end up doing the intro on Reasonable Doubt? Because that changed everything.
It did change.
Because I remember Jay, you know, Jay used to come around, play the songs, you know, Cashmere Thoughts, different songs. Jay violated too, because I remember he pulled up to the projects. I'm outside. He like, yo, I want you to hear this record. When he played Ain't No Nigga, they had Foxy on it. So he played the record. And he like, yo, what you think? I'm like, that shit crack right there. That shit fire.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, man, how you letting a girl burn you?
That's crazy.
You should feel embarrassed that a girl is nicer than you.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, now I'm in the crib dissing Foxy.
Oh, wow. You got to diss Foxy?
Nah, man, but back then, you know, I used to just write rhymes listening to her like, how is she better than me? But Jay used to do things to inspire you, to help you get better. So I always wondered, how did you end up on that intro of Reasonable Doubt?
Well, like I said, due to the fact that my mother did die when I was 12 and there was nobody in the house, it does build up a lot of anger in you. It builds up a lot of animosity. You know what I mean? Nothing worse than growing up when I would go to my friend's house and watch them interact with their mom. You know what I mean? That's like a very hurtful feeling. No, definitely. You know, now I am going to bring everything together. I know you're like, you ask your question and make like, what the fuck is he talking about his mother for? But I was very angry growing up. Very angry. It led me to doing a lot of crazy things and acting out. So, you know, starting off at Around the Globe and then going to Rockefeller, you get in the music business and you have a certain expectation.
Yes,
like,
as we all do.
It's going to be all these girls, you know, I'm going to get to chill, this and that.
And it's not.
It's not. They actually wanted me to work.
Yes,
they actually wanted me to go get coffee.
It's
and
work.
It's no girls, and write things down. There's no girls at all.
Yes.
So due to the fact that I was very angry and I was also kind of like getting... not brainwashed, but these movies were really like inspiring me and they were like kind of possessing me, if you will. So I remember there was one time when a girl did show up to the office and I tried to, you know, kick my game. It's like I just ignored me and went straight to like the main offices because the main offices were in the back where Jay, Dame, and Big's office.
That's right.
Oh, wow, I just got ignored. I was like, damn. And now somebody's like, yo, go get me some coffee. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? This ain't the music business that I want to be in. So I'm like, yo, I'm out. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm done.
So if I was going to leave, though, I wanted to leave, you know, with a little something that I would be satisfied with. So out of nowhere, she's walking to the main office. I'm out anyway. I was like, you fucking stupid bitch.
Yo, chill.
Right. And it was like a silence.
Hell yeah. There's a lot of girls working in the office at that time.
So I was like, oh shit, they about to throw me out the window or something.
Word up.
I mean? So all of a sudden, it's like a long silence, like, you know, like the one on the phone when I was waiting for the internship. And I hear all of a sudden.
Niggas got them straps. Yeah, it was strapped up shorty in the office.
Not that strap.
We're laughing.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
So there was somebody else in the office I didn't really like, so I cursed them out right there too. So fuck you too. What the fuck are you looking at? Another laugh. I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
I went home that night and I cursed out somebody in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I was like, all right, maybe I'm onto something. So I decided to go back.
Yeah.
But now I was a little bit more overt, more
aggressive.
Looking back now, aggressive is a good word, but looking back now, I was channeling my anger. Not in such a positive way because I'm cursing people out, which is not good. I don't advise you do that. But for the first time, I felt heard.
Yes.
Even though I was saying something very negative.
Yes.
And looking back, I apologize. It was wrong because, you know, as a 40-something-year-old man.
You expressed yourself, man.
At 18, when the world is coming down at you.
You thought that was what it is.
I liked it. Yeah. I liked that feeling. So I began going back and just, you know, acting out the movies. And I noticed that Jay was a big fan of the movies that I liked.
That's right.
So when I'm in there talking like that all the time, it's like, fuck that shit. Do you want something, you call me. Okay? So all of a sudden, they're loving it. They're loving it. And I got to give a big shout out to this person because this was my main champion, the main person that was really just rooting for me the most was Biggs.
Biggs, man.
Biggs.
Shout out to OG.
Biggs would have me come into his office and, yo, do a movie scene. Like, I would just do Carlito's Way or do something like that. And then there started to become a little bit of a groundswell. Like, people like, yo, you got to put him on the album.
Yeah.
I remember the first person that said that was Biggs. Or you got to put him on the album. Then all of a sudden, other people came, like, because there was two factions. It was Harlem, and then there was Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So, it was like everybody came together, like, you got to put him on the album. You got to put him out. I'm doing the crazy shit that he's doing here in the office.
Yeah.
Now, I thought at the time, that's whatever. If it does happen, like, how much do you really remember a skit?
You remember skits,
I never thought like that.
Yeah.
So I remember one day after a long time of everybody like, you got to put him on the album, you got to put him on the album, Jay called me into his office, sat me down, and goes to me, yo, how you feel you're going to be on a classic album? I was like, it sounds fun to me, man,
Yeah.
But it's so funny that he knew already.
Yeah.
He knew the joint was going to be classic.
Yeah.
And you being next to him, being in the same neighborhood, being in the same building, on the same floor.
No. He lived on the 5th. I was on the 3rd.
You 2 floors away.
Yes.
You know how important that album is to him.
Hell yeah. That was his baby.
What it took to make that album, what it took to get to a point where even to have an album.
Rest in peace, Clark Kent, man.
Yes.
Big shout out to Clark Kent. He played a major role in Reasonable Doubt,
he did.
Man, for real.
And he played a major role in our
Him and
lives.
Ski.
Yes.
Like, those was the guys,
the in-house
man.
producers.
Word
those were
up.
the main producers. So it always is mind-boggling to me, and you, like I said, from being so close, is that after all that work, after everything that happened, after everything that transpired, that album is so classic. And the first thing you hear when you press play is
you.
me.
That's right.
And like I said, it can only be God. I know, people going to misconstrue this with the cursing and fuck you, this and that, but I'm really a believer in God. And
right.
I can't believe that he did that for me. I can't believe that he, after my mother died, took me to the block where I would watch these movies, do it for these people that would just kind of like practice for me to get to this point, to be there, and then to find my way somehow onto one of the greatest pieces of work that the genre has to offer.
That's right.
And we're Hall of Famers now.
That's right.
We're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
For sure, my brother. Congratulations.
So your voice is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And that was my purpose of wanting you on this platform, because a lot of people they might not know the face, the person, the man behind the voice, behind the skit.
Yeah.
People don't know how talented everybody is. They don't get to see everything. You're not a very visual guy.
No.
Like, you ain't out there making skits like on YouTube and Instagram like the rest of these, social media comedians. Like, I don't really see you chasing that like them. Like,
we come from a different era.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And we ran from the cameras.
To me, that being on that block doing that was my social media platform.
And it's hard.
To get the recognition
me,
from that.
I don't go live and do the things that the young guys do that I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So
you get live though when you need to.
Of course.
You fucking get live. And not on Instagram either.
Yo,
you fucking get live.
Chill,
I've
this
been
ain't
around
the show. This ain't for that.
Right, we ain't doing this. Listen, don't play this in court.
But yo, so off what I was just saying about how you even met, because I met you after Reasonable Doubt.
Yes.
That's when I came in. So,
and we're the same age, so we kind of came up together, if you will, after the album was released.
Let me let the people know. The wars you and Dame had, bro.
God.
Oh my Jesus. Dame Dash is a snapper. And then with this guy with the jokes, they used to go at it, boy.
But I got nothing but respect for Dame.
Of course.
I'll tell you why. There's a difference between, I remember I was watching a documentary about Biggie and they were talking about, there was a writer, Dream Hampton. I know you know.
Okay, yes, of course.
She was talking about the relationship between Big and Pac when Big first started out. She said that, and it always stuck with me because it made so much sense. She said that Big knew that Pac was real. But more importantly, Big knew that Pac was being real with him. So now you hear that word floating around a lot. Oh, he's real. This person's real. I knew Damon was being real with me.
Yeah.
Damon used to punch me in my arm all the time when I would act out, like with the laughing at the cursing at the girl. Yeah. They laugh, but then after that, he grabbed me in the room, started punching me up, but like a big brother almost. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was always also a big proponent of trying to get me into rooms and stuff like that I didn't really belong in. You know what I mean? I'm an intern, and here I am arguing with him about the album in his office. I don't see that happening any other label. You're not going into Leor Cohen's office as an intern. Yo, we should do Cashmere Thoughts as a single. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like we would argue that.
Yes.
He wouldn't kick me out. He wouldn't do it. He
listen to
would,
you.
And converse with me.
That's right.
And that's real. He was being real with me.
Dame was definitely good for that. He listened to everybody.
He did.
From the interns to the workers to the artists to the producers. He definitely listened, man. Like
he did.
I always respect him.
Absolutely.
I would never talk bad about Dame. You know, shout out Dame.
Yeah,
That's
Dame,
always
big shout out to everything that he's doing. And it's so great that everyone's doing other things.
I'm going to bring you back to a memory, though, that you probably don't remember. Listen. So it was a release party for Reasonable Doubt, right?
Okay.
This is the first time, this is the first time I seen Pain get in trouble with Dame, Jay, Biggs, where everybody was mad. We had an ill party in there chilling, wilding, celebrating the album release. We get outside, we get in the limo, and you standing through the sunroof of the limo, pissing out the sunroof of the limo.
Screaming money ain't a thing, right? Say you got the sunroof. I'm pissing out the sunroof. Talking about money ain't a thing.
Ain't on top of the limo, peeing off the limo. Jay and David, they like, yo, get this nigga off the car. Somebody, I remember they was mad at you. They made you do push-ups.
Yeah, they would. And then David just punched me in my arm like real hard. I think I got like bruises still from that shit. Talking about 30 years ago.
I remember
I had to go to the bathroom.
Young boy, like, who the hell is this guy right here, man?
I'll never forget. Dame got pissed at me one time. I mean, literally, right? I mean, right? Pissed me, right? We were in the studio. We were in one of these studios, and this is later on, though. You know, I had to go to the bathroom, but I was in the booth. And you know what it's like when you're in the booth. I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm fucking zone. I'm drinking. Back then I would drink. I haven't drank.
You ain't peeing in the booth.
Yo, I had to go. But
Yo,
what I did,
chill,
I had to, but check this out. Bleek. I saw there was a dog walking around the studio. The owner owned a dog.
Yeah.
So there was like a dog walking around the studio.
So you fucking the dog did it.
Yeah. So
how you gonna blame
worst
the
comes to
dog,
worst. Yeah,
though?
right? Like where my dog's at. I was like, so they called the label. Afterwards, like, what the fuck? And then Dame calls me into the office. The fuck are you crazy? What the fuck are you pissing about? I said, Dame, it wasn't me. It was the dog. He goes, motherfucker, the owner said that he smelled it. It was human piss. I was like, how the fuck do you know the difference between dog urine and human urine? What the fuck are you, a probation officer?
Yeah,
like you could tell the difference between dog urine and human urine?
Yeah, that's different.
But like, he knew the deal.
But you peed in the booth.
I had to go in the booth.
Niggas killed
that was solitary
the booth.
confinement.
Nigga peed in the booth. Yo, I love
But I didn't piss
God.
like directly. I pissed in a cup. And I don't know, for some reason, I just like threw it up like New Year's Eve or something like that.
Yo,
and it splashed all over the place. So it wasn't like a Bart Simpson urination, like, you know, at the beginning of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like this was like some splash mountain. Like, you know what it looked like? You ever been to Great Adventure? Or like one of those like theme parks where they have like that wooden like coaster that goes down the water, but then there's people like standing on the bridge. You know what I mean? And they get splashed out of nowhere. Like that's the effect that it kind of had, like that, like going down the pipeline and it's just like that. I think it made the effect too. But you know what? As crazy as that all is, I can't believe that they accepted me back every time.
Yeah,
That's
every
the crazy
time. No
part.
matter what you did, no matter how much they was mad at the night before, the next day, Pain in the office. But one thing they would see, they would make you do push-ups.
They would make me do push-ups. And look, I still got scrawny arms. See that? After all the trouble I did, you would think I look like Popeye the Sailor Man. Motherfucker look like I'm doing coke. No, but you don't understand what that means to somebody when they lost their mother and they have nothing and you could do no wrong. And I mean, even though, yes, I get in trouble, but it was an acceptance that
it was a brotherhood, man.
I needed that.
We was a brotherhood.
Yes,
like if we was in college, we'd have been a fraternity.
Yes, we are.
Like I ain't gonna say we'd have been a gang. Because we wasn't a gang. We was all business oriented to be on some shoot 'em up, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But we definitely, if we were school kids, we'd have been a frat, man.
No, we were a frat. We were a frat.
It was family. Like everybody that worked there cared for each other. Everybody took their job serious. And every single person in Rockefeller wanted to see Jay-Z win.
Absolutely.
That was the number one agenda on everybody's mind. That's the one thing I respect.
And you know what I think was the most important thing of all? And I don't want to turn this into, like, you know how people talk. I read the fucking comments, asshole. Like, you got to talk about Jay-Z all the time.
Nah, but we got stories.
We know him. We know him. And Bleek grew up with him.
You can't talk about a lot of this stuff without mentioning
I ain't gonna talk to you about politics.
And you from the beginning. Like, I tell people, I'm from when the Rock was a pebble.
Yeah.
You met roughness. You was down before me then. You even got a jacket. You was there when the Rock was a thought.
It's funny you said that everybody around wanted Jay to win.
Yes.
But the most important thing was that Jay wanted to win.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing, like we were talking before we started recording, how, try to give a message or advice to the younger generation or anyone, not even younger, anyone that's trying to be inspired.
Yes.
At first, you got to believe in yourself.
That's a fact. And no one could tell Jay he wasn't that
No,
guy.
he knew.
No one. He knew.
Even a comment like that, how you feel you're going to be on the classic album, that wasn't at that point something that people were really, looking forward to at that point. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. You're on two classics though, man. You're on my joint, my first album.
Right.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
Means a lot to me being
don't
on
forget
your joint.
that, man. I remember when I called Pain, like, yo, I need that flavor you gave Hove. You gave me 2 skits on my first album.
Let me tell you something about you, and I'm glad we're having these conversations. We can talk real.
Yeah,
we can talk real.
Man. That's what we're here for, man.
The slight on you always is, oh, Jay wrote your shit.
I don't understand
Coming of age. He wrote that.
He did. Coming of Age 1 and 2. I'm going to give that to him.
He wrote 2 for you too?
Yeah, I give that to him.
Okay, let me explain to you how great God is and how the ghosts are always watching with us. God rest his soul, Clark Kent.
That's right.
What he means to all of us.
That's right. I was big bro.
I know the story of how you got to be to that point to even be the person rapping on Coming of Age. That was originally written for Shaheem.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And Shaheem was with Wu-Tang.
And they I guess somehow he ain't have the time to do it. And then when I synced them in the projects, I'm telling Hove I rhyme. I'm like, yo, he told me I spit. Clark like, yo, I think he might be good for that joint. And
but wait, it's not history because Clark made you rhyme for him.
Yes.
Your rhymes.
Yes.
So you auditioned to be that.
Of course. 100%.
With your rhymes.
100%.
With your actual rhymes. This wasn't Jay-Z's rhymes. This was you rapping to Clark.
Yeah, no, they didn't teach me how to rhyme.
And Clark needed to verify, like, yo, okay,
he's
good enough to even do that.
That's right.
Right.
100,000%.
And you owned it.
Of course.
Because, I mean, obviously this isn't the same genre, but, these great artists, Celine Dion didn't write, My Heart Will Go On.
A lot of people like
Tony
to say,
Braxton didn't write that, but they owned the song. It's theirs.
Yes.
They embodied it.
It's my words. It's
you doing
it's my
that.
personality.
It's your emphasis.
That's
it's your
right.
emphasis. You emphasize every word.
That's
Same thing
right.
with me. I mean, look, those skits on those albums, they're movies. Those are scenes from
they
movies.
Are yours.
They're not I didn't write those words, but I own them.
That's right.
I took it. I always seen myself like a producer would. Like how he would sample, like Kanye would sample. I'm falling in love. And he puts the drums to it. He puts the, but it's still a sample, but it's his beat.
That's right.
So these scenes, these monologues, they meant something to me. So I wanted to take them and I wanted to try to convert them
and make them yours,
to make them mine, or to pertain them to you, pertain them to Jay, because I see everything like a movie. I see things in movies. I don't read books.
Yes.
I don't like to read because I don't grasp the material.
Hold on. I said that on the interview.
I seen that.
And they took it the wrong way. Yes. So don't say you don't like to read.
I don't like to read.
You can't read.
I don't like to read because I don't grasp the material that well.
It ain't captivating.
I need to visualize see it.
I'm a visualizer. Yeah.
I just was watching the Joy Luck Club the other day.
But I read books. Don't get it twisted.
No. We ain't, we got library cards here. You see that? We got library. I'm gonna get that.
I probably got a tab on my library card.
I probably owe like fucking 20,000. I need a Jay-Z verse just to pay my library tab. Like, I think I owe them like from a movie that I rented from remember they used to rent movies?
Yeah.
But I'm better visually.
Yes.
So like the other day I watched in the Joy Luck Club, the movie. It touched me. Like I was like, wow, like this is like so good. And then I wanted to go back and read the book.
Okay.
Because I seen the visual of
now you can read, yes.
Exactly. I seen it. It's in my, because when you read, you're kind of seeing the thing play out in your head anyway.
Yes.
When they already have that for you, then now you can go back and kind of really contrast. It's like, okay, oh yeah, they did a good job here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, I didn't see it that way. Now reading it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's more visual. It's always been visual to me. So like with those movies, I wanted to pertain them to the artists that I was working with because I see things in movies.
That's right.
So like you with Jay, I always seen you two, your relationship, as far as I was concerned, from watching it from my vantage point, you reminded me a lot of like the Christopher Montesanti, Tony Soprano kind of like relationship.
Yeah.
Where Tone is Christopher's uncle, but he's not really his uncle. Like, it's weird, like they're connected somehow, but not blood, but he loves him.
Yes.
He's like my nephew, my nephew is going to be the next in charge, like so. But you had that because Christopher,
love him.
Christopher is very, like, Tony don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like F that. That's why I loved Coming of Age 2.
That's right.
Coming of Age 2 is better to me than Coming of Age 1 because it's so realistic of like, yeah, I'll ride with you for free the first time around, but now it's like, yo, what up?
I need to see that bread. What's going on? Niggas stealing my swag.
Exactly. How you doing? Good to see you. But there's an underlining tension.
See, this is how ill Jay Mind is with even writing that song. Because I remember rhyming the song. I remember Jay made me stay in the booth. I literally was in the booth for about an hour saying that. In the stance like, and what? One leg of my pants up in the stance like, and what? I know the dudes is feeding me cancer, but the time's the answer. Whatever I say back then, I don't remember the line, but I remember he made me keep saying that line over and over and over and over and over and over until I got it perfect. But when the song came out, I didn't really understand it. And then when I got older and I listened to it, and this probably gonna blow people's mind, if you really listen to the record, we don't even say nothing to each other.
Right.
It's just
all
a thought. Yes, it's all subconscious. It's all what we're thinking.
Just one look sometimes.
All I say is, what up? And you say, what up, Bleek? That's it.
Incredible is that because it encapsulates
like
everything,
we talk to each other.
Really going on.
Yes.
That's life.
And people think, like, when you listen to the record, they think we having a conversation, but it's just what we each thinking about the other person is thinking.
In that moment.
And when I really caught that, I'm like, Jay is that's what makes him the genius he is.
When you're telling me that story about how he made you say it over and over again, it reminds me almost like of a good director.
Yeah,
would do like an actor, like I want you to do it this way, precise. It needs to be precise.
Jay is so perfectionist. I remember when I did Like That. Shout out DJ Enough and Swiss, because they was in the studio when I got the Like That record. Me, DJ Enough, Swiss, and Guru. And you know the part where I say, Swiss slowed down the beat. Shorty slow down the beat, however she say, and I'm like that. And I remember I said it in the first verse and I played it for him. He was like, yo, you know what? You should say that in every verse. And I'm like, you think so? Yeah. And he like, yeah. Just go back and rewrite them. Put that line right there, put it in every verse. And I did it, and now that's like the highlight of the record. Like, he always been like the constructor. Like, I don't get where the people like, yo, he wrote your rhymes. Then I don't know why the ASCAP checks come to me.
But, I mean, like, as far as, like I said, to me, as an observer, like I said, when I heard that story, that you had to kind of like audition to do that.
Yeah,
that means that your joint it wasn't out of necessity. It wasn't like, oh shit, we need somebody right now.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about like both of our stories. I didn't audition to be on the album. You know what I mean? I wasn't part of the plans. I was never part of the plans.
Exactly.
But I was part of God's plan.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what happened. Like, I wasn't part of the plan either. But God made me stop them that day.
Exactly.
And it changed the course of life.
What did you feel like when they were walking up? Like, did you know that there was a joint that did?
No, I just knew Jay was that guy.
Right.
Like, you got Lexus coupes that ain't out. You know, you got the baddest chick in the hood. It's like, this guy go to his crib. You got water beds, floor model TVs, AC. Where we all got fans. It was like, I gotta get with him, like, cause we spraying the water bottle on the fan in my crib. It's hot as ass down there. So, and that's what I just knew, man. I needed to get with him, man. Like, if anything was gonna change, I was gonna figure out how to get money and learn how to get money with a person who's getting money. Can't get money with a broke person. Y'all both broke.
What a blessing that it's that person.
It's crazy. I always knew.
Of all people, you could have came up to like Joe Johnson, like in the hood, let me learn from you, and end up like in prison for 20 years. But of all people, it was this person.
I knew, and I'm not going to just say I knew with Jay. I also believe Jaz-O too.
Of course,
I remember seeing Jaz-O and Jay in the elevator, like taking an elevator ride with them from the first floor upstairs. And I remember asking them, "Yo, how you write a chorus? Now, I could write a verse, but I can't write a chorus." And Jaz said to me, "Yo, keep rapping. All you gotta do is keep writing. It's gonna come." And I remember saying to myself, if I told you I got the verses, how the hell is the hook gonna come? I'm telling you, I can't write a hook. I don't know how to think of a hook. And his advice was keep writing. And he was right, though. Kept writing now, and I learned how to make choruses. I would take choruses out the verse. But every day I used to see them and pick their brain. Try to get in the car with them. Nah, get out of here. You can't come with us today. Get out of here. Not today. Not today. So when I used to get that call and be like, Bleek, we need you in the studio, bro, it just felt like life. Like, I knew I knew life was gonna change. So
at that moment, you did?
Yeah, I knew, man. I used to get in trouble for hanging with them, bro. Remember, they was the big.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's weird because it's 3 generations. You know, you got Jazz, you got Jay, and then
they was getting that money, man. And moms would be like, "What the hell you doing around them? You too young. You ain't supposed to be with them. Get your ass in the house."
Like, which is weird because that would probably never happen in today's world. You know, in today's world, you know, that
like, older dude hanging with a little kid like that, it look weird.
Yeah.
You know, people think everything is weird today.
But it's weird because, no pun intended, but like, you know, that's the time we grew up in. Hanging on that block, those were all elder statements. You know, it was like 20, 30-year-olds, and I'm
one thing
14,
I can
15,
tell you.
But it was an honor just to be chilling with them.
A 14-year-old city kid is the same mentality and mental state of a 25-year-old suburban man. Like, and that's the truth.
Right.
Like a 14-year-old city kid has the same responsibilities as a 25-year-old man who grew up in the suburbs. It's no different. He probably might have it harder, more responsibilities.
We aging dog years, basically.
No, it is because you think in the city is you got it rough, bro. Like you said, your sister had to raise you. You know what I mean? Your sister, how old was she? She probably was...
She was like 8 years older than
exactly.
20 at the time.
You know what I'm saying? So think, she had to be 30. Right. She had to be a mother.
Yes.
So think about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could take a kid from the suburbs and bring him to a kid in the city, and the kid in the city is way more advanced. Like, because life is faster in the city. And that's just what happened. You age quicker.
You do.
Like, and that's just what it is. But back to the Rockefeller days, my guy Pain, I never forget Pain. My album release party. Yo, one of the greatest nights in my history of ever performing. I got a chance to get called to the tunnel.
The tunnel.
Shout out Funk Master Flex. Big Cap. Mr. C. Rest in peace, Big Cap and Mr. C. Word. They called me.
Very missed.
To do the rest in peace DMX, because DMX was even at the album release party, the first album in the tunnel. I remember my guy Pain, like, yo, Bleek, let's do the intro before you come out. And I'm like, you think so? He like, trust me. And you went out there and the roof came off. We didn't even have to play a record.
Yeah,
that's how famous he was.
But it was weird because it's weird to see that.
Once you started that, okay. So now the guy
want to work for Jay-Z. Any problems, he can work for Jay-Z. Trouble writing a song, he can call Jay-Z. But now the guy's got to come up with Jay-Z's money every week, no matter what. Ain't selling records? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you want him in your video? Fuck you, pay me. No one's coming to your shows? Fuck you, pay me. But then I had, because I learned this from you, I had a wad of money on me. I don't know who gave it to me. I think you or somebody gave it to me. When I did the fuck you pay me, I threw it into the crowd. And I remember just the shit looked like the scene in Paid in Full where it's all coming down.
The money coming down.
And, you know, just in slow motion. You know what I mean?
I got a story about the Jay throwing money, but I'm going to let you finish.
So, you know, the tunnel was incredible. So when that's happened, everyone's flying all over the place. I just remember getting off the stage. You got on there and they just went fucking bananas. You know, when you started into the man, Bleek it. Oh my God, the beat comes on and just like you could feel the building shaking. Seriously.
So I got
like an earthquake. Like we registered on the Richter scale.
I got a story about Memphis Bleek is because I didn't even want that record to be my single. We didn't even have the record.
I remember being in the studio with you and Lenny.
Yes.
Because Lenny was working as the A&R in your project. That was his first project.
Me and Lenny almost died to make Memphis Bleek is. Like, literally. We was on a Hard Knock Life tour. We were supposed to shoot What You Think of That, featuring Jay as the first single to come in the age, right? They didn't clear. Matter of fact, Jay wasn't even on What You Think of That, but that was supposed to be the first single. They wouldn't clear the sample. So then Jay went to Swiss like, yo, my little bro need a beat. So Swiss like, yo, I'm going to be in New York this day when we off. So Jay like, all right, I'm going to book y'all flight to go home. Me and Lenny, we flew from Buffalo on a propeller plane.
Oh, man. That's in Hard Knock Life.
Yo, bro, that plane was shaking. So I was on there praying. Like, yo, please, Lenny too. We laughing. I say, you see what you got to go through to make records?
Yeah, and backstage.
I'm telling you. And we land, we get there, we make the record. Swiss like, yo, Bleek, I got it for you. He had the hook on there. Memphis Bleek is. And I'm like, all right, cool, I did it. And I'm like, I don't think this the record. I don't think people gonna want to say my name. Like, and Jay like, man, you bugging. Shut up. The record is dope. People don't like they know your name. Chill out. So then when we put the record out and the response we got, and that response at the tunnel was like, yo, hold on. They like me? That's for me? Like, that's how I felt.
And you're the first artist other than DMX to get a Swizz beat.
Yeah.
right?
No,
Or
Jay, because Coming to Age 2 is produced by
right.
Swiss.
I'm sorry, but
a lot of people don't know that.
Because he did also Money Cash
Hoes,
he did Money
and Jig. What's my
but Money
name?
I always equivocate Swizz with X, and then X being on Money Cash Hoes. Like, all right, he did that for them, and then obviously he did another joint on the Volume 2. But you're the first artist other than those two colossals. Now it's you that gets a Swizz beat.
I believe so.
Similar to like
from
Nori.
Your mouth to Swiss fingertips.
Right. But like Nori with the Neptunes, like he's the Nori, first one to have that beat. But then who's that next one that does the Neptunes one?
I don't know.
That's a good question. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I gotta get Pharrell in here. Pharrell, pull up.
Yeah, pull up, man. For real, we want to know who's your second beat. So that's
piece
that's
by
big
piece,
in itself.
Pull up.
That's big in itself. Look at that. X, J, U. And he knew that was going to be a hit.
The only thing I ain't sell those records. It was X,
but you went gold on that.
Void.
No. You went gold on that. No. You did your thing.
I went gold. Every album.
Underestimate yourself.
Every album went gold, but we talking about X went 4 or 5 million every album.
Yeah.
X dropped 2 albums in 1 year.
That's
both
crazy.
of them 5 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's never been done before. It will never be done again.
No, absolutely not.
Ever. Like
I don't think people buy that many records at this point.
They like people stream.
And people don't understand the importance of selling that many records.
Like you had to go to the store. Like now it's a little cheat code. Cause imagine we got the count for every time you played that CD. Now today when a person download an album, every time it played. They
get something.
But they're giving us fractions of the count. So it really don't count for the artist. It just counts for the, the streaming provider.
But it's weird how, the music business breaks down. You know what I mean? Like the business of it. It's really
terrible. You have to, I feel like music now, you have to use it as a platform to promote your other platforms.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like a commercial.
Well, it is. It's a platform to let you know, like, look what I'm capable of doing.
Exactly.
And that's really what he did. I mean, as far as business and what you did too. Look what you're doing with this. Look at all the things that you brought to the fray. You've done a lot of things.
Yeah, we outside working.
That people don't really appreciate and they don't recognize that you've done.
I learned from the best, man. We got the weed out there, Mind Right Exotics. Nice. We got the Douce in
How did the
stores.
Douce thing come about?
Douce came about from my wife, actually.
Crazy.
Word, because I was in the crib.
Hold on, sorry to interrupt you. You just played me a joint on your new album. That's like, you're talking about her. And
I appreciate that.
It was incredible. You know why it's incredible? Because watching you recite the rhymes, you can see how heartfelt it is.
No, I meant every word.
To see you happy.
Definitely
you deserve to be happy.
Brother.
You deserve to be happy. Brother. And there's nothing in life better when a man has a strong woman
that's
behind him.
I believe that's everything. That's the navigator of success.
She's so great. Gave you a beautiful daughter. You know what I mean?
My G.
I'm so happy to see you succeeding and happy. No, because being happy and being successful are two totally different things.
And that is success to me. Happiness.
Exactly.
Family. So money ain't success to me. Like money is something to be made, spent, and made again. So
money sometimes brings even worse than things than happiness.
Of course.
The opposite of happiness.
Yes, it bring the drama.
You want more, brings the greed too. I want more, give me more. You know what I mean?
That's right. But we on you. It's not on me.
All right. But you know me. I'm the intro guy.
This is not about the Memphis Bleek.
I'm used to like praising somebody else.
This is pain.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I always felt too, man, and this is for the people to know, like, why you never got into like doing the voiceovers for cartoons, or have you tried? I don't know what to say why you never got into it. You probably tried, it just didn't manifest. Or like even acting. Like I felt like you could have played a role in State Property. They killed me. I could have killed you.
State Property, right? Well, all right, so a lot of things happen along the way. So I always tell the story, and I also get negative feedback too. What the fuck you talk about? You weren't in it. So after being on the album, Reasonable Doubt, back then Abdul would
shout out Abdul Malik.
Yeah, Malik Abba would film all the videos.
He did.
So he did, Ain't No. He did
In My
Dead
Lifetime.
Presidents. He did In My Lifetime, and this is on their own dime.
That's right.
So due to the success of Reasonable Doubt, Jay's next single after Ain't No is going to be the Mary joint, Can't Knock the Hustle.
Yeah. Wait, we ain't even getting the streets is watching.
Right. We're getting to that. We'll get to that in a minute. But, so they decide Hype Williams is like the biggest director in the game.
Yeah.
let's let Hype direct it. Well, we're going to pay him money, We're going to pay him a lot of money to do this. He just finished doing Tupac's California Love video, which is basically a mini movie.
That's right.
They got the Mad Max shit going on. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So here's this guy going to direct Jay's next joint. So he comes up to the label. He comes up to Rockefeller. I introduce, I'll meet him at the door, bring him in. This and I was like, yo, you're going to put me in the video, right? You know how these artistic people, yeah. I was like, this guy's a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, so here again with the anger, I start snapping. I start snapping on him.
Too.
I start snapping on him. Right? Look at his shirt, blah, 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 whatever. Dame's like, yo, he's going to direct the video, blah, blah, blah. So we get to the set, and I'm like, yo, you're going to get me in the video, right? Straight ignores me again. I was like, yo, this guy's, what the fuck is wrong with this? I go, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. But again, like the time with the girl, I'm going to give people a piece of my mind. So
that's right.
They were smoking cigars, him, Jay, and Dame. This is in South Street Seaport, downtown. And I'm like, look at this fucking guy smoking a fucking whatever. I'm making fun of him, whatever. Everybody starts laughing. And I'm like, yo, I'm leaving. I said, so I walk away, and there was a woman named Fran back then. She was the video promotion person. Her name was Fran. She was the main video person. So as I'm walking away, she runs. She goes, Pain, come back here. I'm like, oh shit, Damon's gonna like punch me in my arm or something like that because he got mad that I was dissing Hype. She's like, no, Hype wants you in the video. She goes, go get, go put on a suit.
Yeah.
So
he was in the Dead Prize video.
No, this is the Can't Knock the Hustle video.
Can't Knock the Hustle, yeah.
So I put on a suit. And I go up this elevator and I go into this restaurant that's right by the highway, by the seaport. And as the elevator's door open, Hype goes, here comes Pain in the ass. And everybody starts clapping.
Yo, you lying.
So I was like, oh shit. So like, yo, go ahead. You want to be such a big mouth guy? Go ahead, do something crazy. So I ended up jumping on the table and I'm dancing on the table. And you see it in the video. Whatever, in post, you could put that up there.
That's right.
Dancing in the video and whatever. So the video's over. And he's like, yo, I see Hype again outside. And he's like, oh, we said you want to make fun of me all the time, this and that. He goes, let me get your beeper number. There's some beepers back there.
Yep.
So I get my number, whatever. 6 months later, I get a page from a 212 number. Now, the young generation don't understand. When you get a 212 page,
you knew.
You were in business, baby.
You was in business. That 718, you like, what this chick want?
Yeah, exactly.
What this dude looking for me for?
What the cops for?
That 212, you like.
212 was strong.
That meant money.
Big time. So I call up. I say, what's up? Somebody page me? I was like, yeah, this is Big Dog Films. Who are you looking for? I was like, Big Dog Films, what is that? It was this Hype Williams company. I was like, well, somebody paged me, Pain that. So she puts me on hold. All of a sudden he gets on. He goes, Pain, you're going to be the next Robert De Niro. I wrote a part for you in my movie. He goes, meet me right now downtown. So I'm sorry. Meet me right now in Jamaica. So I meet him by the Coliseum. He gives me the script for Belly.
Wow.
He wrote this major part for me.
What the fuck?
Just off of doing.
Lying.
No. So at the time, I'm an intern still. Even though I'm on the album, I'm still an intern. I'm not anything other than, all right, cool. That's a cool story you got on the album and you happen to be here. So they got word of it. They got wind of it, Jay and Damon. And they're like, all right, cool. We manage you now. So I became the first like non-rap act
but you get
on
managed.
the roster.
That's right. You know what that's called?
Yeah.
They put that speed stick on your neck.
But you know what?
Deodorant.
They deserve it because I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for them. So he wrote this major part. I remember we went to a reading and Beehive was with me. Big shout out to Beehive.
Shout out to Beehive.
Beehive was also managing me at the time.
Another professional put the speed stick on the back of your neck. Real quick.
Stop acting stupid.
Get over here.
For real.
I said get over here.
So I remember we went to a reading and Nas was there. Scarface, the rapper, was there.
It's only one. Wait, we're not gonna see Scarface, the actor.
Well, yeah, Scarface,
Scarface, the rapper.
What the fuck you doing here? Why are you here, man? You're supposed to be an intern. What the fuck you doing rapping? No, but Terrell Hicks was there from The Bronx Tale.
Yeah,
and I used to love that movie. Tyron Turner from Menace to Society is there. He's sitting right next to me. He's the one that ends up playing in the movie. He goes, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit one bit.
I'm gonna drop it down.
Right, exactly. So we're all sitting at a table like this. We're all together. Nas is there and everything. So I'm reading my parts. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like clapping and laughing and everything. And then during the break, I remember Nas was smoking with Scarface. And I seen him, like, I'm walking away. Because, yo, son, you ever acted before? I was like, nah. He was, yo, you got it, son. I was like, oh shit. I was like, what the fuck? How'd I end up here? You know what I mean? Like, where'd I end up from that to that? So, because, you know, I used to love Nas. Yeah. Growing up, Nas was like...
come on, man.
So, after we came back from the break, Hype was like, yo, I just spoke to the producers. We're going to change Pain in the Ass's name from Kumatin, it was, to Pain in the Ass. And I was like, oh, they started clapping and this and that. And it was so exciting. You know, it was one of the highlights of my career so far.
Yeah, but why you ain't getting in the movie?
Exactly. Here it comes. So all of a sudden, I don't know what the fuck happened. You know, contacting back and forth, this and that, and, you know, get ready, you're going to do wardrobe, you know, we're going to film this movie, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, it just went blank.
You think Jay and Dame asked for too much money?
No, it wasn't that.
You thought they wanted the Denzel fee for you?
Imagine that right now.
It was like, for Pain, $50,000 an hour.
Right, $50,000 an hour would be nice. What happened, I think, was that he needed to cut characters because of budget issues. And even now, like, you know, years later, like, he's very angry the way it came out because he didn't get to do what he intentionally wanted. Like, I remember reading the script, it was totally different from what I saw on the screen. But I was really honored that he asked me to be part of that because it did change everything.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get in belly. And I remember, as a matter of fact, the day of the reading, we were supposed to have a reading on a certain day. And my sister paged me. And I called back. I said, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, you know, they called from this company. You know, there's something about that they're not going to do a reading today because of other issues, you know, that you'll do it another time. Okay. So I'm like, all right, cool. So what's up? Nothing. I know you get mad, you know, when I don't tell you things. I'm like, what the fuck kind of setup is it? What are you talking about? So my sister raised me, but our grandmother was very much part of our lives.
Yeah, that's right. The backbone of the family.
Right.
Everybody.
I didn't know my mother's side of the family there in Colombia, so I just knew my grandmother. So I'm like, what's going on? What the fuck? What's up? His grandma died.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like, you know, my heart just... It was the first panic attack I've ever had. I suffer from panic attacks.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, just shaking.
A lot of people suffer from them and don't even know.
Yeah.
At least you recognize
Right.
it.
It's just, I couldn't believe it. And eventually I didn't get in the movie, so like there was like a dark cloud around all that.
Yes.
Again, more anger. But how God works. Jay drops volume 1. And he says to me, yo, you gonna do it again, right? I was like, do what again? You can do your thing again. You know, so I was in the studio, we did it again.
That's right.
And it was a great album.
Great album.
But it wasn't received as well as it should have been.
Because what I believe was, it was a lot of competition at that time.
At that time.
And Jay was talking about things that wasn't yet.
People going over people's heads.
Yes, because Jay was talking about the lifestyle we live today. Then.
Right.
Remember, Rolls Royces, Bentleys. People are just now getting these things.
And maybe the singles weren't the best, like how you said that you didn't like the Memphis Bleek is. Like maybe they weren't the best selections of the album because the album is strong.
Yes.
So as smart as they are, Dame decided, let's film a movie of the strong records.
To every song. Now, it was basically that damn near every song.
Right.
Word up.
So we're in Marcy.
I'm mad they didn't call me for the Source Money video, though.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, that looked like a good time.
I was mad back
That was in
then.
Atlanta.
I wasn't married then.
Yeah,
I was the young guy.
Yeah, that would have been a different song of that.
Yeah, they got me pulling out guns on You Must Love Me, shooting people, but don't invite me to the strip club.
Right. That was a nice little scene.
That's 2 strikes. I didn't get a jacket.
No jacket and no strip club. What the fuck? I mean, basically, you robbed me of my youth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was 15 years old. Why
you don't do that to a 15-year-old boy. You know what I mean? Come on, let him get his jacket and let him go to the strip club thing so he can...
Please. I wouldn't be talking about it to this day.
I would have. So I'm in Marcy, and we're in the trailer, you know, and I just started wilding out or something. And, you know, Jay's like, Dad, it's so tired. So I do the scene from, you know, I remember in Carlito's like, what, you think you like me? You ain't like me, motherfucker. You a punk. I've been with made people, connected people. Who you been with?
You did that on my
Chain
album.
snatching, jive ass motherfuckers. Why don't you go get lost? Get out of here. Go kick a freestyle or something. He's like, yo, go do that right now. Yo, Abdul, let him do it right now. And it ended up starting out. The Streets is Watching.
That's right. That's a classic
Belly
movie,
would have
man.
been great for me to do.
Yes.
But I don't think it would have done for me what Streets is Watching did for me. because it's the first time that people put together the face with the voice from the albums. It was the first time that I had that stage.
Yes, where people recognized
and
you.
they
Because
knew
I remember
me as
walking
that
with you and you was litty.
Right.
Like Pain. He was just like an artist on Rockefeller
which is crazy,
with no album.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
you
crazy.
should have dropped the album.
I should have dropped something.
Yeah,
you know?
Yo.
Instead of urine in
everybody
the studio,
play pause. I don't play pause. Yuki even did a Jerky Boys album.
That would have been crazy.
Remember, they had a comedy album. I remember they was lit at one time, the Jerky Boys.
That was a big deal back then, yeah. It was a fucking dipshit.
Yeah, see, could have been the Pain in the Ass
Right, the Pain in the Ass thing or something like that.
We gonna get you lit. Don't worry. Somebody gonna contact. I'm the manager now.
You see that? Now you putting it, now you doing a deodorant thing like that. Yeah? That's what we do around here, right? Speed stick. We got your back. And your armpit. Like, but it really changed my life because, like you said, for the first time, people just recognized me. Like, oh shit, you the guy from the album, and that led to your album.
Yeah,
and that led to eventually working with you and being. We did shows together. We traveled together. We did tour together. We had a fun time. Same age too.
You remember Jeter, Proof?
Yes, everybody.
Fucking crazy ass guys, man. We was on tour, fighting
and fucking. That's what. That was our logo. We was the fighting and fucking, or maybe sometimes both.
But yeah, even when I remember when Freeway, Beans, and all them got signed, they got you doing skits and all that.
Yes.
Freeway still bring you out at the shows, man. I like
Big
that,
shout
man.
out to Free, man.
Definitely.
One of the coolest people, but not only that, been through so much as well. You know what I mean? Like I see that in him. Like
I look at Free as one of the strongest people I know. To be through what he been through and still could get in front of that camera and smile and act like everything is okay. I commend him for that.
It's funny, life. It's weird. It always happens, when you least expect. And when I say life, I mean,
but you can never plan for decease or things to go wrong, man. You can just pray they don't, but you can't plan for something to go. You can have a if something go wrong stash, but what you gonna have a if something go wrong heart? You can't be like, yeah, my feelings. If something go wrong, put these feelings over here till something go wrong. So when it happens, it's just a natural human feeling, bro. Like. But to be able to get up and still push forward, that's strength, bro. That's stronger than the bodybuilder.
It is.
You know what I mean?
The mental muscle.
Yes, man. Because certain people, certain things happen in their life. I seen things break a person. I seen a relationship. Yeah. Some of these dudes lose a girl and jump off a bridge.
That's insane.
You know what I mean? Like, it's insane.
I've seen a lot of escapism. I've seen like when pain comes, people like escape to certain things. That's why, you offered me a drink and I love you. I haven't drank.
See you stop.
I haven't drank in 20 years.
I see. God bless, man. That's dope, my G.
I always, I wanted to be in control. I would see myself.
You was wild.
Like the pissing and all that. I seen the video of me pulling out my dick and all that.
Chill. Wait, you did push-ups in the office naked.
Naked, yeah.
Yeah, naked, chill. We come in the office, this nigga doing push-ups, butt-ass naked in the office.
I was talking to one of the chick in the office, and she was saying something. I was like, you wanna do something? Like, let's have relations. But put it in a nice way. Let's have relations. Like, no. So like, fuck it.
I remember Gabe was like, get him out the office. He can't come to the office no more. And I remember like, yo, what happened? What he do? Hey, I think he was doing push-ups naked.
Crazy.
Nah.
And that's the least of it. I remember I performed naked one time. Dead ass. Like, literally, not dead ass, but like naked ass. Naked ass. I performed naked. I don't know why. You know why? Because me and we were talking. Like, yo, you scared. You scared, man. What the fuck you mean you scared? He's telling me, hyping me up. Like, you can't even go up on the stage. You afraid. Like, you got stage fright. I got stage fright. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I'll go up there naked and get the fuck out. You never do that. I said, watch me.
Yo.
And I don't know what the fuck possessed me, but I did. I did.
We getting you a voiceover. Somebody need to bring something. We gonna do some cartoons, something. We get my guy. We got you doing all these impersonations. It's a million guys out here that do impersonations that don't sound like people.
Well, I got to give a big shout out to Jay Farrell. Oh man.
Oh no, Jay Farrell is dope.
I have an impersonation that I did with him, and he does Jay. And I did something. I did the skit. This and that. It's kind of funny.
Man,
but he's
dope.
talented.
No, he's
That's
dope.
Talent, man.
No, he got it. A couple people, but then there's a couple people who really don't sound. You'd be like, "Yo, you made it to SNL. You ain't got no talent, fam. Like I know a lot of people. You was talented,
man.
You
know what I see impersonations like? I always equivocated myself or try to like embody like the graffiti artists.
Mm-hmm.
I love graffiti. I love the fact that a graffiti artist, what he'll do or she'll do, or they'll do their piece, like they get their ups with their name.
That's right.
And then they'll put a character to it.
Yes.
Like they'll have like Homer Simpson, like in a b-boy pose, or they'll have like Speedy Gonzalez holding up the piece. So they're adding character to their art, to their piece. So that's really what I saw myself doing when I was doing these skits. Is like I'm doing the character, getting my ups too. Yes. You know what I mean? And pertaining it to the person that I'm doing it.
And it's a lot of platforms
like you,
now.
From here on and nothing goes down unless I'm involved.
That's right.
No blackjacks, no dope deals, no nothing. Something goes down in Marcy, Bleek wants in.
That's right.
You guys got fat out there, but we all starved in the street.
That's right. King of New York,
it's
baby.
Memphis' turn. And it is. And it always has been.
That's right, my brother. But I was going to say, it's a lot of platforms. Like, I remember, like, I know Cypher Sounds got a comedy show thing going on.
Yes,
like,
that's pretty good.
We got a link. I told you.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Don't worry, 20%,
I got you. 20%.
Yo, no, I don't want no percentage. It's just for you. I'm managing.
Hey, let me tell you something. I learned a lot of things doing business. I always take care of everybody. I always take care of everybody who does something for me. You get taken care of.
Don't worry, we got you. Listen,
because that sometimes get misconstrued like as people as respect.
Let's shout out the fam. You know, even Tata. You know his son Spanky?
Yeah. They do
he has a comedy show now.
Dead Ass.
Yeah. Yo, chill. There's a lot of dead ass on this show. Yo,
he does it with my man Mousy Jones.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
They actually asked me
to be involved.
Mousy called me to do like an intro for the show. They do it at SOBs. Big shout out to them. It's really dope.
Why you ain't get involved, bro?
You know what it is? Like the belly thing. There's been so many like close calls that never happened.
No, you got to make them happen.
You do got to make them happen.
You got to make them happen. Some things is out of your control, but certain things you very much control, bro. SOBs is right there.
That's right there. Yeah. Like, we performed at SOBs a bunch of times.
A million times. Yeah. We could go open SOBs right now. You have your own show.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's do something, Pain.
I would like to do more acting. I want to get involved in the acting. You know what I mean?
Yes, but it starts, so you got to start somewhere.
Bro. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's another thing as far as close calls. I remember Jay and Damon. And talking about the Kevin Hart thing. You were
supposed to be in something with Kevin Hart. No. Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, they wanted me to be a comedian.
No. Oh.
So at the time, you know, I'm 18 years old and that anger is there. And I like making people laugh. It's cool. But I don't do stand-up.
Yes.
I'm a gangster. I do sit-downs.
Okay, that's right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want that. I want to play the Tony Montana role. This and that.
You're too little for that.
I'm too little for that. I gotta do that. I gotta play a little, like you know, the little league version.
Yeah.
The little Tony.
Yeah,
right?
They come out with the little Sopranos.
Like the little, like with that guy from Game of Thrones. What's his name? The short one. The short.
Yeah, I don't know. Chill.
I'll be Tony Montana to him. The fuck is wrong with you, man? You know, like
if they come out with little Sopranos, you
little
Tony.
Sopranos would be dope.
Yo, you little Tony.
But like right, little Tony. Hey, Carm, what the fuck? I'm over here with the fucking Memphis Bleek. What do you want from me, Tom? What do you want? I'm trying to do whatever I could. You're too short, Tony. But eventually, after doing Streets is Watching, then they started Rockefeller Films, and they were doing all these films. And
but do you have your?
I was supposed to be in Paper Soldiers with Kevin Hart.
They put me in Paper Soldiers.
Right.
You know, I ran from Dame for that, right?
I did too.
Why? You should have wanted to be.
I didn't like the character. I didn't like the character.
They had you playing.
They had me playing his. You see in the movie, he has like the dude that's rolling with him. I was like, I didn't want to do that. I was just
saying.
Well, no,
you know
I
what that would have did. It's almost like they tell me when I tell people, "Yo,
well, Kevin Hart wasn't Kevin Hart back then,
but he became Kevin Hart from that.
Yeah.
He got soul playing from that.
But the thing was, at that point, because of the belly thing, that I got respected enough to be asked to be in something like that. And you doing this now? Why don't you do something for me, or let me get something? Let me be the Kevin Hart character in that. Let him be my man. You know what I mean?
That's never
at that point.
Happen,
at that point,
not right now.
No, not right now.
Kevin Hart,
I'm talking about at that point.
He ain't even the sidekick to the Rock. They fighting for who.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Back then, he wasn't the Kevin Hart. That should have been my platform. Is what I'm trying to say. Is what I felt.
Yeah.
Now looking back,
but you could be a plastic cup boy.
I could definitely do that.
Yeah. You just thought you got water in your cup.
You see that? Well, you're in assumption. Like
Yo,
that.
chill.
Spill it up like that. But so I mean, a lot of things I turned down that I could have done that really could have taken me to another plateau. But Bleek, I'm very happy where I'm at right now.
No, I'm not saying you're not. Yes.
No, I mean in general.
I'm
like,
wondering
I'm so
why because you're so talented. To me, like. One of the funniest people that I ever met is you and Kevin Hart. That I know personally, that I sat and seen do work, perform on camera. And when you stop, you get back to the regular cool guys like that. I can't do that. Yeah. That's why when they wanted me to do drumline, it's like...
That would have been crazy.
I can't act. I'm not a drummer.
Who contacted you for that?
I think Singletary. That was John Singletary. Crazy. Rest in peace. That's crazy. He contacted
John Singleton.
John Singleton, yes.
But knowing what he did for Pac, did you want to maybe?
He wanted to pay for acting class for me and all that because I told him I could not act. But the real thing, I was scared. So
That's what it was?
Jay cursed me out about that. He paid for acting classes for me, and I still never act. So, but that's neither here nor there. I never wanted to be an actor. I thought rap was gonna be the plateau. I'm a rapper.
Is your vehicle? Yeah.
How can you come back? I'm a drummer, but I'm over here telling niggas I'm a gangster. Okay. How can it don't work?
You didn't know how to decipher the character from what they would view you as.
Yes,
exactly. And that's the way I felt with that.
Certain roles you take is your life. Like Urkel will never not be Urkel.
I know.
Like, I don't care what he do.
Yeah, he can't escape that.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, he's always going to be that.
It's like the girl in the neighborhood that's a hoe, too. Like, when she gets older, she changes her life. Like, she's always going to be the hoe. Right? Like, is that weird?
Yo, chill.
Like, you always labeled as that. No, I'm serious. They're like, they go that hoe. Like, meanwhile, she's married and everything.
His words, not mine.
Not mine. These are not my words. I've been possessed by the movie Scarface.
Chill.
No, but it's weird because even in growing up in the hood, you labeled a certain thing. You know what I mean?
But
like if you snitch, you always gonna be the snitch.
Nah, yes.
You ever seen I seen driving over here, the unions.
Yes. When they blow up the rat.
They had a little rat like that. And they go, this site is being held by non-union workers.
Yes.
I think wouldn't it be dope if they had that same rat in the hood? Like if you snitch on someone, like
and they
you just
put that in front of your house?
Front of your crib like that. Yo. He goes, I just want to know that right here in 537 is a snitch living here. Sir. All right, so wouldn't that be dope? Because now the whole neighborhood knows that they ratted.
The game has changed. People accepting rats now.
Are they?
Yeah, man. Look at Instagram, bro. Look at social media. These guys, the game has changed. It's not the morals and the codes we grew up. Those don't exist anymore.
I would never rat. That's why I would never commit a crime.
Because you would.
Because I would never rat. I would.
You said pride, I would never rat, so I would never commit a crime. Right, that sounds like if I commit a crime, tell it.
No. I would never do that because I would never put myself in a position where I had to rat somebody or like, you know what I mean?
That's why they say do your crime by your lonely.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Or not even do crime at all. You know what I mean? There's other ways, there's other avenues.
There's a lot of ways to get money out here without having to do a crime.
Exactly, especially nowadays too.
Yes,
you know, you could sell anything nowadays.
Definitely, man. You know, I want to shout out the homie Sheik the Sheik, man. I see you got on his sweatsuit plug. You know, that's Marcy out in the building getting to it, you know what I mean?
Marcy got a lot of things going on, too. A lot of artists out there that, contact also to work
Sheik
with.
The Sheik.
Big shout out to Breezy Lynn. A lot of people, a lot of artists in Marcy, Benny, my man out there. Like, there's a lot of artists that are, like, making noise from that same neighborhood that you're from. Well, how do you feel about that? Like, being that you grew up in that environment and to see an artist kind of like develop from it, like let's say like I tried with Manolo.
Yeah, I tried to reach back to a lot of these kids, but today music business is different. I respect every single artist coming out the hood. I love what they doing, from all of them to the young guys to the girls to everybody what they doing. But today the game is so accessible with YouTube. You can just put your stuff out. You got all these United Masters. You got Rock Nation Distribution. You got all these E1 Spotify, and all these, you could just put your music out yourself to where a lot of these artists think they know more than the executives today.
I'm so glad that...
And it's like, I don't have time to beef with an artist. And it's like, I've been there. I've been to the top of the mountain. Yeah. So I'm never going to let a person who never seen the top of the mountain tell me how to get to the top of the mountain. And tell me I don't know when I've been up there a few times. It's like, fam, I done left a flag up there 4 times.
Yeah.
You feel me? You trying to get there. And that's what it is. Like, I respect them. And I think the game has become where a lot of these artists now, before they even make a record, they automatically thinking, I want to own my masters. It's like, who you going to sell them to?
Right.
Who you going to do business with? All right, you own your masters. What movie are you putting them in? Who
were you licensing?
Where you licensing this music? You don't even know how to get a license to drive a car, but you're going to license your music? Okay. Let's see it happen. So it's a lot of wannabe big business artists and small business.
I think it's because of the influence. I think it's because the influence of
they hear the artists and what they talk about. And what you hear these guys telling you on records, I went triple platinum and I own my masters. Yeah. Impossible.
It is impossible.
Yes, it's just rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they, people believe what they hear. And sometimes don't even believe what they see. So
now, wanted to discuss this with you.
What's up? You got a question for me?
Yeah, well, I mean, a discussion. I wanted to have this debate with you.
Debate? Let's debate.
With you. Yeah, I did debate with you because
Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Let's go.
All these skits that I did, these were my ideas. These are my
That's right.
things that I came to him. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me that right after the first one.
I never had that, but go ahead.
So, like I said, I always seen him like Carlito.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why on volume 1 is somebody's pulling me close. That's the opening of Carlito's Way.
You gave me King of New York. Okay.
But I gave you something bigger than that. And you, I heard recently and I seen in interviews, don't agree with it and I don't understand why in a respectful way. So volume 1 is the opening of Carlito's Way.
Yes.
Volume 2 is the ending of Carlito's Way.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, boys.
Oh, I know where you're going with it.
Can't take me back now. Lay down.
I'm going to stretch my mic out,
Aunt's funeral home.
That's right.
Bleek's going to be a good rapper.
New, improved.
Improved, Jay-Z.
Who told you say that?
That's my idea.
Oh, that wasn't
that's
Jay.
All me. That's not Jay-Z. No. Jay approved it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously he has.
So you put the pressure on me.
No, it's not
you
pressure.
Violated.
No, it's not. It's not. And I'll tell you why. You got to put it in context of where we are. And I know people are going to disagree with whatever they say. Jay came out with Reasonable Doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Came out with Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 albums, to me, the greatest of all time. They weren't really received the way they should.
Yes.
And he was going to quit at the end of Reasonable Doubt.
Yep. He wasn't supposed to even make another album.
But he got, through the grace of God, we got the Def Jam situation.
Yeah.
And now he was going to come out with one more and that's it. But he split it up into 2 parts.
Yeah.
Volume 1 and Volume 2. So what I said at the beginning of Volume 2, there was no Volume 2 yet.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even get to that plateau yet. There was no Hard Knock Life. There was no Can I Get a what? Like none of that.
Yeah.
None of that has happened yet. And he's retiring.
Mm-hmm.
So you are that next person in line. You know what I mean? You are the next one. Jay-Z has not become the Jay-Z that we've come to know and love.
No,
at this
yes.
point.
When he said that, he was not the Jay-Z of today.
You said before that put a lot of pressure on you, but at that point there was no pressure because, like I said, to me, he wasn't
pressure.
He wasn't, but he wasn't what now in retrospect we look back.
But remember,
Jay-Z is the biggest artist of all time.
But remember, to the fans, he wasn't. But always to us, Jay always been who he is today. Remember?
Right, yes, yeah. That's
so
true.
you can't say he wasn't who he was. He wasn't who he was to the world yet.
Right.
But we all know under that Rockefeller umbrella, that man is one of the greatest artists
absolutely,
we ever
absolutely.
That's why everybody believed and pulled on one accord to see him win and see this Rockefeller thing flourish.
Mm-hmm.
He was who he was before he got here, bro. So
okay, so secondary. You agree with that? You, in my eyes, have had an incredible career.
Of course, yes.
You may have not lived up to that
height,
what it was, because he continued as you continued.
He should have quit, right?
Not he should have quit, but I mean, at that moment,
should have let me drop 3 albums.
At that moment, no. At that moment, that's what it was, though. At that moment, he was gonna stop and not quit. He was gonna do the business side like he's doing now.
I could have invented the word cap back then. I could have whipped in the studio and told Jay, yo, why you capping?
You should have said, why you Yankee capping?
Yeah, yo, why you capping? Cause you told him you was gonna retire and let me be the guy.
But to me, you are that guy. Yeah. Look what you've done for this game.
No,
how did that, the greatest hip hop beef of all time, how did that stop? Sorry.
Oh, it started by this kid named Jabba from Marcy.
Okay.
By telling me, yo, you gonna let Nas diss you like that, son? And I said, what? Play the joint. And I said, yo, Goo, put the beat on. And then Twins actually gave me mine right beat.
And who went after him?
Me.
All right. You brought this to the table.
No, I didn't. I didn't bring this to the table. No, it was an idea that Jay had.
Okay.
And when I spoke to him, he was like, I'm like, yo, bro, the raps ain't clicking, shows ain't booking. Mm-hmm. I need some real money that, I can really do this business shit. And he like, yo, I got something I'm thinking about getting involved with, new liquor.
And you took it around.
And showed me the bottle. And I said, let me get my hands on that. I'm going to put this in every hood across America.
And you did.
And of course.
You did. The first real record that up northeast had of like down south artists.
Yes.
Who was that?
Me. Round here, baby. You know that. Round here, Trick Daddy, T.I. Yo, that's the reason why I can live in Florida comfortably. I'm like an honorary Floridian.
You get that badge, yeah.
Yeah, they love me just because I fuck with Trick.
You got a string of hits.
Of course.
Whether they like it or not, that's yours.
That's right. No,
Recently,
I never said my career I wasn't happy with my
The only
career.
reason I say
what
that is I said that.
What I said was I felt like the bar was raised too high for me because at that time I wasn't who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mentally.
Like what do you
like
mean?
I was a kid. I was 15, 16 years old. Remember, I was 16 years old when Coming to Age dropped. I was 19 years old when my album Coming to Age
19
dropped.
is crazy.
So I wasn't who I am today. And what I'm saying is it put the pressure on me, which was at that time good because it made me better. It's like if I'm the new improved Jay-Z, that means I got to be better than what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time of me improving and rhyming, he just was fucking improving too. It's like, my nigga, you ain't gonna stop. Where's the ceiling?
It's almost like you like racing your
and
man.
He's just getting faster.
He's just
And that's what happened. Like I know the reason why I didn't become the new improved Jay because Jay became the new improved Jay. He went from Jay-Z to Hova.
If you can go back and talk to yourself right now from that time, like you said, if you're not the person you are then, what would you say? What advice would you give to yourself?
What I would give advice to myself is don't listen to the you know, the people in the crowd, man. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to the crowd noise. Stay focused on the game.
Okay.
And that's what it is. I got too hyped by the sideline noise and got sidetracked.
There you go. Like almost like shooting a free throw.
And I'm looking at the people with the clappers instead of the net, focusing on the rim. Yes.
If I could go back and talk to myself, now, like you said, the person of the thing that, you know, now realizing that's stupid is I would have appreciated the moment more. I feel like I didn't appreciate it while it was happening in real time. You know what I mean? I appreciated the fact that I was part of something.
Yes.
Brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, I felt like, you know, everybody in there was like family, but I didn't appreciate the moment. I didn't appreciate the importance. Now, when you don't have a mother,
yes,
and your father is out and
moving around,
and
you just
not even moving around, promises
sister.
you're gonna see you on the weekend and never shows up, there's a void there.
Yes.
That I've been chasing my whole life.
Do you have kids?
No. I mean, unfortunately, I could have a few times, and
it just didn't happen.
Well, bad decision making.
Because I grew up without a father. I never said the word dad a day in my life. Yeah. So when I had my son, of course. So that's what I'm telling you. The void you talking about, I've been there. When I had my son, it felt weird even when he used to call me dad. Yeah. I used to tell my son, don't call me that, because I never said that word a day in my life. I used to tell my son, call me Bleek. So that's why my son, when he found out my name was Malik, he used to be like, your name ain't Malik, your name is Bleek. Right, you bugging. Bleek. My name Malik. You Bleek, I'm Malik. So then, you know, as he got older and I knew the responsibilities of a dad and things, it made me, actually having a kid made me hate my father more. Just knowing what he left.
Absolutely.
Because I would never turn my back on my children.
Course.
So that's why I asked you, because it filled, but my brother was in and out of jail. Yeah. It filled the void, but it's nothing gonna change it, bro. But the kid definitely makes it easier.
I don't have a kid, but I will say one thing. So chasing after that void, that emptiness, really what you're chasing is love.
Yes.
You want to be loved. I saw you rapping right now before we started filming this podcast about your woman. And like I said, what I saw is you were happy.
Of course.
And I love that feeling. As time has gone on and evolved and the generation has turned the page, I walk the streets now and people come up to me and they're like, yo, I grew up on your voice. Just a little sliver of that void gets filled.
That's right.
Because it's love. These people are showing me love and they're telling me that they hear my voice.
And you helped them through a dark time, or your words did this. Like, you hear all that stuff. We played a pivotal role in music at a time when, you know, New York hip hop was all over the place. Remember, we had underground, we had people putting boogers on the camera lenses. You know what I'm saying? Biggie and Jay really came and made people clean up, get that jury, that money talk. So, like, you played a major role in people's lives. Nobody will ever forget the skits,
it's incredible. And as I said, like, so you listen to a skit, you would think,
even when I called Nori and I'm like, yo, what's your next shoot for the pod? And I'm like, yo, I got pain in the ass coming. He even was like, ooh. Nobody know Pain's story. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, you know his voice. You know what the talent is, but they don't know the story. And that's why I wanted to give you your flowers on here and let people know you more than just a voice.
Give me some flour. I'll make that shit happen. The rest of that. We can take care of that with just the flour. Fuck the flowers. Give me the flour.
You gotta holler at the people behind the scenes for that.
Yeah. I just need some flour. I mean, a little baking soda. I'll be all right.
That's right. Yo, chill. Yo, but anything you got new, anything you got coming up, anything you working on, anything we should be expecting, where can the people find you at to follow you, reach out to you? If they can't reach your manager.
Yeah, reach the Bleek. I suffer from
paranoia. They can't reach the manager.
You know, I don't like to be followed. Following is like, you know, I still live like in the same place.
Yo,
so, you know, I'm like, yo, chill. No, whatever comes my way, I'm walking God's path. So,
that's
you know
right.
what I mean? I'm a little different than I was when I was young, you know. So wherever God leads me, wherever God puts me, that's where I need to be. So that's what I'm working on now.
That's right.
Wherever he puts me, I want to be in the best frame of mind. I want to be ready. Mm-hmm. You know, that's an important thing in this business. Always be ready, because a lot of times I was called last minute and I had to be there. I had to show up and I had to be the best. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So always be prepared.
That's right.
Always be prepared.
As long as you prepare, you never have to get prepared.
Exactly. Look at Bleek. Bleek, the moment you came up to them, like you didn't realize that was going to change your life because you were prepared at that moment, though.
But I wasn't prepared for the Aladdin carpet ride we took.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I didn't know that was going to happen. I'd have saved a lot more money back then. I was doing stupid.
You were doing a lot of shows.
Yeah, I was putting TVs in my car, watching Jerry Springer, Maury at the front of the high school.
Too. Look at that. While you're driving.
Like, what was I
driving? Miss Daisy was driving.
Remember, it wasn't nothing on TV back then.
Exactly.
Wheel of Fortune and Maury.
They didn't even have that many channels.
Jenny Jones. Like, used to watch Jenny Jones in front of the high school.
And
that was crazy.
What's weird about all those shows, like they like catered towards like for females too, like those shows, like the Ricky Lake show. I don't know what the fuck I was doing watching the Ricky Lake show. The fuck are they talking about that would resonate with me? You know what I mean?
Nah, you know the Ricky Lake. I used to look at it and be like, who's the secret crush?
Right, oh yeah, when they bring him out. Yeah, oh my God. And then how about do you remember the Richard Bay show?
Nah, man.
Richard Bay was the show. Richard Bay was Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer.
There is no Jerry Springer.
No, he had wild shit going on.
Jerry Springer put us on the hedonism.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There is no. Only person you could call a Jerry Springer before Jerry is Benny Hill.
Benny Hill, remember that?
That's Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer.
When they chase him out of the town out there? What was the other guy? What was the guy with the big mouth? What was his name? Morton Downey Jr. Remember him?
Yeah, but yo, if they could let Carrot Top get famous, come on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on.
What did he get famous for, Carrot Top? Just for having red hair, right?
Yeah, like why? Pain? Come on, Pain.
And he started working out too recently.
He looked crazy. He looked like Popeye.
And he looked like a third baseman from the 1998 Yankees or something, right? Like he looked like he about to hit a home run into the upper deck of
but
Busch Stadium.
Still getting booked in Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Carrot Top still got billboards in Vegas.
That's
killing
crazy.
Him. I don't know one Carrot Top joke, movie.
Nothing.
So I'm saying, Pain, listen.
See that?
I like the manager, y'all.
Arm and Hammer, baby. Arm and Hammer.
Yo, chill.
By minute.
You know what this is, man. This has been ROC Solid, and I appreciate you for pulling up, Pain. This ain't gonna be the last time. We need you back on the show.
Oh, definitely.
Because we're gonna have some comedians come up eventually, and I'm gonna let them know you're gonna burn them.
Okay.
We're gonna have comedian battles.
So wait, tell me real quick before we go.
Let's do a comedy versus.
Tell me about the concept of this show, though.
The concept of this show is just what you are.
ROC Solid.
You know, we rock and we solid. The concept of the show is I want to highlight my people, what you into, your talent, how people could know how I become managers and put the speed stick on these guys.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? And if y'all want to book them, this is what the platform is, man. It's just giving people story, letting people know the dedication, the hard work. You might inspire somebody somewhere. You never know, man.
So that would
you know
be
what I mean?
nice.
Somebody probably watching Family Guy right now and out there talking like Stewie.
Right. See that?
You know what I'm saying? You never know, bro.
You never do know.
So,
look, that anything is possible. Anything is capable of happening if you just believe.
God first all the time, man.
Just believe in yourself, believe in God, and just know that He's going to put you, like I said, on that path.
Where you belong.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember,
and he'll bring the right people too.
And what's for you will come to you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to chase it.
And what's not won't.
That's right.
So don't ever.
Nah, some thoughts used to come that wasn't for us, but they came.
They really did come, right?
Yo, chill. We out of here, man. ROC Solid, baby. Do say Mafia, Mind Right Exotics.
Here comes the pain.